Hey guys, how's it going on? Sam here to do a review on Boku no Hero Academia episode 6. Now this episode we got the truth about Todoroki. You know, the boy who had everything but also had nothing at the same time. So this episode really was interesting, but before we get into the gripes about what actually happened and talk about, just discuss it, just a little information. Some of you guys may have noticed that the animation in this episode looked a little bit different. Some of you guys may have realized, why is it looking like this? If you didn't realize, actually, for this episode, Studio Bones outsourced their animation because this episode wasn't much of an action-packed episode, so by them saving their budget, they outsourced this episode to another studio, so then they can obviously save their budget and work on more of the action-packed episodes. Because for some of you anime viewers, you don't know what's in store for you guys yet, but all I can say is for the future fights and the tournaments, that's going to be massive amount of animation for these fights, for these battles, the quirk showcasing, all of that. So obviously Studio Bones, they really need to invest their time, their funds, and just their effort into animating all of that greatness. So for episodes such as this, where there's basically no action at all and it's just dialogue, they can really save a lot of money and time by outsourcing it to other studios. So basically, this is what happened for that episode. Now, we find out, as I said, about Todoroki's truth, about, why he doesn't use his fire side. We kind of realized that it was due to be a Jew, because of a grudge against his father that he had, but we didn't know that it'd be this tragic. And Deku said something along the lines of, if this was a comic, he'd be the protagonist. And although that was comical and very ironic as well, there's a lot of truth in that, because Todoroki's character is extremely tragic. I remember when I was first reading the manga, I can't remember who said it, but they were saying, bro, Todoroki reminds me a lot of Kaneki Ken. And, I don't know. I guess you could similarly, draw some lines of tragedy between them. But I just thought that was kind of interesting to say. But yes, Todoroki's life was extremely tragic. We find out that basically he was only created. He was only given. He was only created because Endeavour just wanted him to surpass All Might. Endeavour went in and initiated. Endeavour went in and initiated the whole marriage with Todoroki's mum, gave birth to the son, obviously. But Endeavour didn't want a child to love him. Endeavour wanted a machine, practically. Someone that is powerful enough to surpass All Might. Because Endeavour realised that he wouldn't have been strong enough, so he would just create someone to do it. So obviously that is very dirty, it's very low of such a person to do it. And now we finally know the scope of why Todoroki hates Endeavour. And that's why Todoroki's in this episode that he doesn't want to be a tool for his father. And it really is sad because, yeah, it was titled The Boy Who Had Everything. Look at his quirk. He's got fire and ice. How amazing is that quirk? But even in the midst of all that power, he doesn't have a father. We don't really know anything about his mother because judging from this episode, the mother, it seems like she abandoned him and neglected him. So it seems like from both parents he wasn't really loved. So it really is tragic. And his pure motivation is to become #1, but by his own strength alone, by his own power, not by him doing it because his father told him to do so. So he's trying to find himself, by him. But the thing is, he's kind of doing it to stick it to his dad as well. So he's kind of proving his dad wrong, saying that you didn't, that I did this not because you created me. I did this because of my own quirk, not because of your quirk helps me out, something like that. So yeah, it was really tragic. And when you look at it with Deku does feel insecure about his motivations, and this was actually touched upon, I think, in episode 1 or episode 2, when Deku was realizing that all these characters, they have such, noble motivations, they have such drives, yet he doesn't have one as much. And it's kind of interesting of how Deku kind of combated that. We see even Bakugo in this episode. Bakugo's kind of standing back, standing in the shadows, listening on. And I thought that was very important because I think which is really interesting so far throughout the series is Bakugo's growth as a character. I know a lot of you guys didn't like Bakugo in season 1, but you see him grow and you see him develop. He's matured a lot, in my opinion. And we see evidence of that in this episode. He was hiding back, but he wasn't doing it very sly. Even his facial expressions, they weren't more disgust or that. It's kind of like he had empathy as well to an extent. That's what I got from it when I saw Bakugo in this episode. But it was pretty cool, you know. Deku was standing up to Todoroki as well, and Deku was just like, regardless of that, I still want to be number one. I want to be the greatest because people have helped me. So this episode was really cool, just to give us so much information on Todoroki, and it really did set up the conflict between Todoroki and Deku. You know, they've got not the clash of ideals, but they're aiming for the #1 spot. Same with Bakugo actually, because Bakugo's in this episode hiding. So all three of them really, this episode kind of set up how all these three characters are aiming for the top. They're aiming for the same spot, and they've got different motivations for it. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Now, aside from that, we've got a little bit of, basically the showcasing what this next stage is. This next stage is a one-on-one tournament out of the 16 people that, you know, got through from the cavalry battle. They're going to be fighting one-on-one. Now, by these one-on-one tournaments, you can win by either knocking them out or, you know, by you know, like throwing them out of the ring, or by them like saying they give up, like they withdraw. So it's going to be like, it's a tournament kind of thing, because the person who wins, they fight that, and it goes up, then it'll be like, you know, the one-on-one kind of thing right at the end. So I am so hyped, because this is like, you know, we've seen such awesome parts so far in like the obstacle race, the cavalry battle, but this is the spotlight. This is what we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting for all this action, and we saw who's going to be fighting who. I'm interested to be seeing, you know, Bakugo and Uraraka. That is going to be pretty cool, and I find it funny how Bakugo's just like, who's Uraraka? So that was kind of hilarious. Like, Bakugo just totally didn't even know who she was. It's kind of sad on Uraraka, but, you know, Bakugo's just in his own world pretty much. We get Deku and Shinzo. Now, Shinzo, you guys obviously know who he is now. He's the one with the purple hair. We get a little bit of hinting about his quirk. Now, some of you guys may not still know yet, so I'm not going to tell you guys, but it seems like, you know, very sinister, the way that they're hinting at it. And we see at the end of this episode, like, Shinzo speaks to Deku, and Ojiro, like, warned Deku not to speak back. So it seems like speaking back activates their quirk or something to an extent. I'm really intrigued to see more about it. It's going to be awesome. The first fight, you know, Deku and Shinzo. I really loved how right before Deku goes through, All Might comes in and gives him the pep talk. Because All Might's just a G, man. Like, All Might's coming in with, like, that fatherly figure, advice and all of that. It was just pretty awesome. So, yeah, this episode's really cool, you know, other than the comedic moments such as, like, Mineta. I feel sorry for Momo, because, like, Momo is just always falling for Mineta. Not falling in love, but, like, falling for Mineta's tricks. Mineta would be, like, saying something, and Momo just, like, gets entrapped pretty much. So Mineta basically tricks all of them to wear cheerleading outfits and all that kind of stuff, and that was pretty hilarious. We see, like, recreational activities and that. So yeah, this episode was really cool. In comparison to the other ones, it was much more chill, much more of a setup kind of thing, but it's like the calm before the storm, because we know next episode and all the other future ones, they're about to be lit, so I cannot wait for that. So guys, please tell me your thoughts in the comments below what you thought about this episode. What did you think? What were your opinion on Todoroki's backstory? Tragic, wasn't it? If you liked anything that I had to say, drop a like, that will be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next week for that greatness that is Boku no Hero episode 20, aka episode 7 season 2. Shinigami-san, peace out guys, and goodbye.